We have an urgent message. It's urgent. We have crazy cats outside, and I don't like it. It's an urgent message. Everybody's going live. Hold on, I'm going to try to find the video so I can watch the comments in case you guys ask them. At the same time, I'm going to read some stuff for you guys. There's everybody.
Hi, everybody.
So on the same time, I'm going to read some stuff to you guys. You know, just to help you out a little bit, right? Since the topic that we've been talking about lately is basically food security. You guys like food security? There's a guy who is a problem for us, and his name is Henry Kissinger, and he said, control the food, control the people. And I'm going to do some stuff coming up about Henry Kissinger, and also he trained in Klaus. See, that's where Klaus gets all this stuff from. Control the food, control the people, control the energy, control the nation, control the money, control the world. And if you notice, we're in a full court press.
We are.
Now, Stacy and I, we did a video the other day about, you know, the pressure on the eggs, right? The eggs are really expensive. And then we just had the video about the Tractor Supply feed. I have a follow-up video coming up on that. And when you guys see that, you are going to be like, all right, now it's getting a little ridiculous. We're going to start connecting some dots, and we're going to see if, you know, if all of us waking up at the same time, you know, if we can't just start putting an end to this nonsense, okay? Now, 1,600 folks in here. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. When you show up, you got to hit the thumbs up on the live shows. On the regular videos, I don't mind waiting until you make sure we gave you the goods in the video to leave the thumbs up. But on the live shows, if you hit the thumbs up, it'll send out to everybody who's a subscriber. So anybody who's hanging out saying, I never get to see the live shows, they'll get it because of the thumbs up and you guys are leaving comments and stuff. So that's how the live shows work, right? So I'm just trying to help you out. So if you were on the other end of this and maybe you're thinking, I never get to see the live shows, see, you'd want people to help you out too. And we're all supposed to be helping each other out. That's the name of the game with this social media right now. It's the Great Awakening. All right. So we're going to say hello, do some niceties, and then we're going to talk about...
We'll get down to business.
Why it's urgent that you all should be growing food. All right?
Can I use this?
Urgent, urgent. You can't see those?
No.
She can't see those. All right. We'll get you all lined up. We're going to get her lined up.
See what you guys are talking about.
All right.
There you go.
And then you can, if you want to stop it, you just hold it. Yep. You can move where you want. All good. Hello from, and it moved so fast I couldn't even see it.
Oh, Daniel, it's Daniel.
What's up,
first
Virginia?
time.
Hello, Daniel. See, Daniel got the notification because you guys were awesome and you hit the thumbs up button. 2082, only 1,200 thumbs up. Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. Love your videos and information. Thank you, thank you. Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. And chat. What's up, chat? Grow with Hudson. Man, this thing's going so fast. If you guys want to ask questions, please do them in all caps.
Yes, it's hard to see.
Where does Stacy find her unflavored kombucha to make scobies with?
You can find the unflavored ones. Usually it's like GTs, G like in George and T like in Tom. GTs. It's called Pure, and you can find it usually if you have Whole Foods around. You can get them from there. Otherwise, you know, you can order them online. They like freeze dry them, and then you have to put water, you know, liquid to them, and then they'll rehydrate. You could do that too. I prefer to do it like with a fresh one, or if you know someone who has one, possibly. But generally, that's the only place I think I've seen the one that's totally pure is in Whole Foods.
What's up, Grampy Campy? He's one of our moderators. Thank you, Grampy, for jumping on with us tonight. Appreciate you. Make sure we're watching out for weirdos in the comment section.
Oh,
Do you guys go to... No, we don't go to Amish Church.
Betsy was number 4 hitting the thumbs up.
Oh, good job, Betsy. I want to grow pole beans. What's best brand for green beans? Always remember, if you're new to gardening and you guys want to grow your food, grow what you eat. Oh.
That's you.
Grow what you eat. That is a major thing, is to grow what you eat. All right. Right? Give them some tips.
Yeah, no, and for me personally, because I use a lot of raised beds, and I also use like cattle panels and stuff like that. I like the bush beans.
Yeah.
Those are, Blue Lake's a good one. There's so many different kinds of beans. The thing is, you got to look at where you live too and see what works best for you. So maybe even ask around, like when you go to like a feed store or someplace, look at the beans that they sell there and find out what works good where you are in your location, because that'll make a huge, huge difference. Oh, I'll tell you, I know you talk about pole beans. One of my favorite beans to grow, guys, is the Chinese noodle beans. They come in green, or you can get the red ones, or like a beautiful purple color. I grow them every single year. I have a little spot in my yard. I let them hang there and dry, and then they just keep reseeding year after year. But they're beautiful, like a burgundy color, and I love them in stir fry. I can cut them and put them in and ferment them, and they're just wonderful, and they look so cool, and they're definitely, people like to talk about them.
And they come back very prolific too.
Yeah, they are. So no, that's a fun one to grow, but generally it's not going to like replace a regular green bean.
And so if you guys haven't heard yet, we've been talking about chicken eggs, and we've been talking about the feed, and there's something going awry. I have some follow-up videos coming on with that. Someone just posted in the comments section, there's a chicken plant that just burned down in Connecticut with 100,000 chickens. This is why it's urgent that you grow food, learn how to grow foods, learn about microgreens, get control over your food. 2,800 folks in here, 1,700 thumbs up. 2 more days, we're giving away a Ford F-150. Can we get a thumbs up? I'm just going to go over some stories with you guys too. So some folks were wondering, why is the cost of the eggs and the chickens, that you buy? Maybe you get rotisseries. Maybe you just buy chickens coming up this spring at your farm and home. Are going to be a lot more expensive. And here's some of the reasons why. Egg laying facility in Iowa kills 5.3 million chickens, plus 200 workers, and that was in February or April 2022. The factory farm later dismissed more than 200 workers. That's what happened. They dismissed 200 workers after the fire went through the place, where a mass slaughter took place in March. It's owned by billionaire Glenn Taylor, one of the wealthiest Iowans and owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Last month, protesters from Direct Action Everywhere, an animal rights advocacy group, stormed the court and home games wearing T-shirts yelling Glenn Taylor's Autocrats last announced. I'm trying to get to the meat of the story here. I don't think that any farm should have that many birds to begin with. So that was, your PETA people, but they're nowhere to be found when the whales are washing up on shore because of the sonar is being blasted down in there, so they could map the bottom, so they could put in big pylons for the wind turbines. But that was just right in 5.3 million chickens in 2022. Here's Minnesota fire. A commercial egg farm likely leaves thousands of chickens dead. That was in May of 2022. Massive fire outbreaks in commercial egg farm near Cookota, Minnesota. Egg laying facility in Iowa, 5.3 million.
I mean, they go on and on and on. Don't you think that's a little suspect? That's crazy. And Amy, we're in 6B.
June 9th, 2022. No one is injured after 200,000 chickens die in a fire. That's a separate story. U.S. Herbrick's poultry ranch struck by fire again, April 12th, 2022. Egg producer Herbrick's poultry ranch suffered a fire in its cage-free operation. Iowa egg plant euthanized 1.1 million chickens after the bird flu discovery. Right, this is all happening like right now at breakneck speed from last year to this year. Right, so this is the kind of stuff you have to keep your eyes on, and you have to meet someone who grows food, learn how to grow food yourself, talk to your local CSA folks, get some microgreens going, control the food.
And here's the other thing, and I'm seeing so many people banding together. Find these like-minded people around you, or if maybe in your community there aren't a lot, or even go door to door. If you know somebody when you're growing a garden, people are starting to start their own little farmers markets in their communities. And then that way people could shop local and you can keep everything community, you know where it's coming from and who's growing it. And just to kind of start, I mean, we've been talking about this, really, we have to stay so local. We have to support our local businesses. A lot of these, even the little local feed stores, all these local businesses, that's where it's going to be now.
But they're weaponizing the food. They're weaponizing every aspect of your life. If you guys have I'm not telling you what to do, but this is what we did. We had a bank account at one of the big national fat chains, U.S. Bank, and we closed down that account and we moved our money into our local banks around our little area here and some community credit unions. Try to diversify your money because there's going to be some money problems coming up. There's a lot of stuff that they're going to hit you with and keep you in this constant, fear cycle. And all the while, they are doing stuff behind the scenes. I'm trying to follow it the best I can, but man, it's almost too much. It's just going at breakneck speed. Me and Stacy were talking about that today, like the societal changes we've kind of gone through as we were kids, and how they've totally dumbed down the schools and how everything's gone backwards, and all the institutions that we grew up with that were solid, like teachers were solid, they cared about you. And, the banking institutions were solid, like that was a good place to put your money and everything was good. And then everything just started changing and they're using those old school, what do you call them? Those old school, just things. And they're going to use those against us because we trust them. So now it's time to not trust anything. You have to trust but verify and make sure you verify. Man, phew. I'm watching this AI stuff. Are you guys watching the AI stuff? Pretty soon you won't even know if it's Doug and Stacy sitting here. They can map our face and put it on somebody. It's crazy what we're going through. This is the times of Noah, right? Mixing stuff in the blood and creating these transhuman. It's woo. All right,
it's crazy.
You got to grow food.
And then someone was just talking about like Three Sisters gardening. For some of you guys, some of these, this is something that has been going on because each of the plants in the Three Sisters, you're going to have your corn, you're going to have your beans, and you're going to have your squash. So generally, what you're going to do is you'll plant your corn, you have your squash around that, and then the beans will crawl up. And then that way they all kind of work together. Some have more nitrogen, and they all kind of help which one. It's kind of like companion planting. Like I like to plant, have the big sunflower seed or stalks, and then, you can plant your cucumbers going up that. Mm-hmm. So using other plants that you have in your garden to kind of help each other and protect each other.
And if you guys have not registered for the Ford F-150 giveaway, I just put the link in the comment section. We're giving away 158,000 miles. I thought it was like 150, but it's 158,000 miles because I just did all the paperwork for it so I could give it away. But it is a good looker. We got pictures of it in our community section here, our community tab. I just put a bed liner in it for you, which looks pretty snappy.
It does look sassy.
I'm going to get new tires on it Monday or Tuesday, early next week. We'll draw somebody or some people. I don't know how I'm doing it yet. Just, hang in there. It's going down. And then we're going to figure it all out, how they're going to get here, how we're going to get there, how it's all going to go down. And then we've already planned February stuff, and it's off the chain. So I told you guys, if you stick with us, if you show up for the videos, if you give us the thumbs up, if you watch the videos all the way through, leave a comment, then go watch another one of our videos, just stuff like that will help us move the needle, and we will move mountains for you guys. Okay?
And then Shay, is this right? Shay Arit wants to know what are my favorite lamb recipes, which is so funny as we've been having lots of lamb. Yesterday I did Lulu kebabs,
yep.
Which is you get like lamb burger and you put like parsley and seasonings and stuff in there and you roll them up. They look like a big fat hot dog, and I grilled those in the grills. Had some flatbread, put it on there I made like a sauce with yogurt and fresh crushed garlic and some chili pepper or chili powder and some lemon juice. And it's so good. And then you put that over it. Like I put some greens on the bottom, and then I put the meat, and then I go ahead and put the white sauce on there. We had that. And then tonight we had lamb steaks, and I just marinate them in a really kind of spicy kind of seasoning that has marigold petals and, red pepper and paprika and garlic and all that kind of stuff. And we had rice, right? And what else do we have? And a big salad.
Big salad. We always have salad. Uncle Doug says y'all are not eating enough greens, right? I see how you guys eat. Even when you come to our conference, we're like spying around at your little tables, meat and potatoes, never no greens. Me and Stacy, we eat salads like we're rabbits. And that's why we're healthy and vibrant and we poop real good. That's right. I said it in buckets even. But I'm telling you guys that there's a big deficiency on eating salads and greens.
And then I'm going to talk more about lamb too. I'll tell you one of my other favorite recipes. I love to make lamb burgers. So you just make them like a hamburger.
Hold on, is that in your cookbook recipe book?
Lamb burgers? No.
Oh.
So lamb burger.
Ready for cookbook 2.0.
So lamb burger, you kind of saute some onions, you put some feta cheese on it. I like to do that yogurt sauce over it. Oh, it's so good.
So we get our feed, we get from our local feed place for our chickens, okay? And we mix it ourselves. We have a video on YouTube about it. We posted it the other day. You can hunt it down. If you guys want to know how to do anything, right? Like if you want to know chicken feed, so you type in chicken feed off grid, we're going to pop up. If you want to know rainwater catchment off grid Doug, and you'll know my setup. If you want to know how to cook on a wood cook stove or anything about a wood cook stove off grid Doug. That's how you guys do that. All you do is type that into your little spyglass. We have 1,500 videos. 2 years and a half we did videos every single day.
And you know what? On that chicken feed that I did
many years ago.
A long time ago. And the one thing that I did, I make sure I put in all the time because I grow a lot of it here too, is oregano.
Yeah, herbs.
Yeah, the herbs are so important for the health of your chickens to make them happy layers, help prevent from disease and different things. And the other thing that I really love to do, so you guys, even if you live in a small place, you know how herbs can go crazy, especially peppermint and the different mints. I let my mint go because I use it so much in the chicken coop. When I take it, I can cut it and let it dry. So during the winter months, I'll have it dry, and I like to spray it around. It's sort of like a deodorizer. It makes the chicken coop smell wonderful. And then I also put it in their nesting boxes because it makes them really happy too. So I like to use a lot of the herbs. And actually the mint is one of my favorite to put in the coop because it keeps the smell a really long time. A lot of the other herbs, if you maybe would put lemon balm or oregano, you'll lose it very quickly. So I really like to put the oregano in the feed, and then I'll mix it in with everything. And then I like to do mint and peppermint in the actual coop where they can scratch around, and then I'll also put it in their nesting boxes.
I cannot slow down this thing here, but you can. You just put your name, put your finger on that little thing or your mouse or however you're doing it, and stop it, and then scroll where you want and come back, and then there's a blue arrow that shows up so you can get right back down to the latest comments.
So the Gaw Mom 14 wants to know what's the most economical way to raise garden beds and materials getting expensive. You know what? There's so many different flea markets and different places.
Hold on, what she wants to know?
Garden bed materials.
Garden bed materials. Just do hugelkultur, where you mound up. So that way you throw some sticks down, then you mound up some dirt, so you don't have to have any exterior walls or concrete cinder blocks or anything like that. Our friend David the Good, he's always growing. He does not like our container gardens, and he's always growing in different kind of ways. And it'll be a good channel for you to check out, David the Good. And there's lots of different ways. You don't have to have containers to.
It's sort of like, it's just like nature.
Yeah.
You know how nature just the trees fall, the leaves fall.
Hugelkultur.
Yeah, that's good.
But recycled materials, good. Go to a raw sawmill. Like if you know anybody who has a sawmill in your area, tell them, can you cut me up some cedar boards? That's usually less expensive. And just, try to think outside the box. I'm not a fan of galvanized, but you could use some old barn tin if you can find that on the cheap on a resale deal. There's just so many things you can do. A lot of people get rid of their galvanized watering tanks because they have a hole in them or something. You can get those on Craigslist or something. There's just so many tires. We're not proponents of those either, but you can do it. We don't poo-poo that stuff just because we don't do it. You have to do what works for you.
Okay, so Omaya wants to know.
Oh my God.
What can I grow in an apartment that management will let him grow on the patio? Tried before, everything died.
Move.
But if you can, and I always talk about this too, guys.
Microgreens.
Yeah, microgreens. You just need like a little pan or something with some dirt.
Maybe you'll do a video this week about it.
Yeah, growing microgreens.
Yeah.
So they're really simple, and you don't need nothing. I mean, a window, and you'll be good, and you'll be able to get and grow some very powerful greens. Very, very powerful. And they only take a couple
Can I
weeks.
start kombucha with flavored store-bought kombucha?
It's not really recommended, and you might get a SCOBY, but it may not always work. I know some people, like, if you want to try it, you could, if you get
Nothing to lose.
maybe like ginger, something that doesn't have a lot of stuff in it. I would do that over one that has a bunch of fruit juices and things in it.
Is that too?
Try that
one.
one.
The second fermenting or no?
No, it's just because of the juice. So, but you can always try, but I would do one, if you're going to do it, try maybe a ginger one.
Gail, we're talking about it right now. It's called kombucha and eating fermented foods. That's a good place to start. Can I start kombucha with that? We got that. What do you think about raising quail? Raise whatever you can.
And you know what?
Right?
Quail.
If you can get the quail on, get the quail on. They don't take up much space.
We were in Hawaii.
Yeah,
and
we
we
got
were visiting
friends
our
there.
son. And they lived in a smaller home.
Homestead homies.
Right next to somebody else. I mean, the house, how big was it? It wasn't that big. And they had a whole, the girl called it a zarm.
The
It was
zarm.
a zoo and a farm. They had like a turtle walking around, and then they had chickens and everything.
Quail.
All just in this little area outside. And they had a lot of quail. And then he had a business. He would breed the quail. He would sell them, sell the meat, sell the eggs, sell everything. I mean, that's something you could do. Anybody could do that. And it doesn't take but just this little bitty cage.
Yeah, like that waitress we had the other night. What do you use for salad dressing? Type in never buy salad dressing again. Off grid Doug. Never buy salad dressing. That's the worst stuff. Okay, talk about seed oils.
Yeah, guys, if you want to start something, if everyone's on this health journey right now and you want to start getting healthy, punt all store-bought salad dressing. It's so easy to make it. Like, I make my salad dressing in a pint-sized jar. And I'll put like 2 parts extra virgin olive oil, 1 part raw apple cider vinegar, and then 1 part either raw honey or maple syrup. You just shake it up, and there you go. And it's the most wonderful thing because they use a lot of these rancid type oils. They put colors, dyes, flavorings, chemicals, all this kind of stuff in these salad dressings. And then they're going to use a lot of these terrible seed oils. The seed oils basically are turning your body into plastic inside of you. I mean, it's just so bad. Now they're showing that all these different seed oils, vegetable oils, corn oil,
and you
the
think you're getting
oil,
sunflower oils.
Yeah, those
you
things.
think it's better for you?
They're causing a lot of detriment to your arteries and to your heart and all that kind of stuff. And really want to start looking into these good, stable, saturated fats.
And make some ghee. The ghee is everything to everything. It has a high heat point. It's good for you. It's so easy to make. Stacy even showed you how. Just type in how to make ghee off grid.
And if you don't know what ghee is, it's just it's a clarified type butter.
Ghee, what's ghee?
And you separate the lactose and the casein, which drops to the bottom. And when you heat it up, we put it in the oven like for an hour and a half, 2 hours at about 250. And it's going to separate the butter oil from the casein and the lactose. And then that way, that butter oil is very stable. It's very shelf stable, very high smoke point, almost like 500 degrees. And it's good if you're going to fry something, if you could put it on your popcorn. It's good for your immune system. It's wonderful, as well as other wonderful saturated fats like your coconut oil, or you could also use, duck fat or beef tallow, lard, if you're getting it processed from your pig and you're not getting some of this chemically processed lard. So don't just go to the store and get the lard that's been processed. You need to read your labels, or maybe go to a local butcher that, you can get it that's made fresh. So those are better oils to go ahead and to cook with. And then when your salad dressings, you need to do like an extra virgin olive oil. That's a good one. You just don't really want to heat that up. So just maybe changing, your salad dressing, and that's a good place to start, making it from scratch. And it tastes amazing. I mean, everyone comes over and they're like, I love your salads. They're so good. I put everything but the kitchen sink in them, and I do the salad dressings. And in my cookbook, I have like tons of different ways to make all kinds of salad dressings. There's a million different salad dressings because I always say when you make something, if you make a good sauce with it, it'll change everything.
You just said that like the other day.
I did, yes. It's the sauces that make it. So if you make a easy sauce, it just totally changes.
Just type in grow the Amish onion secrets, and we show you the Amish secrets on growing the biggest onions. Just type it in. It's an awesome video. We have a couple of we have a lot of videos out in the garden, y'all, showing you the whole shebang bang. It's just like 1 year if we're heavy in the garden, showing you a lot of videos. The next year I'm not that heavy in the garden. We try to focus on something else. So last year we weren't in there hardly at all.
Okay, Renisa is going to see us at Eustace's place.
Oh, yes. Please come see Doug and Stacy at Eustace Conway's place, the Turtle Island Preserve. We're going to be there in April. Stacy's going to be doing a fermenting class. I'm going to show you guys how to build the $50 chicken coop. And then the next day, we're going to talk about how you can escape the city and go to the country. And it's a fundraiser for Eustace Conway, his place there. They have summer camps for kids, you know, trying to help these kids learn about these old ways. If you want to know anything that Stacy and I are doing, please, I'll leave the link right now. Go to offgridwithdougandstacy.com, and you're going to find out on the events tab exactly where we are and when we'll be there. And all the places we go to are going to need tickets. And so you're going to need to go get your tickets. And pretty soon I'll have a link up for this Oklahoma thing, and I'll let you guys in on more of those secrets, right? So I'm going to be populating that events tab daily. So check in daily. Right? It's like wake up, pray, have breakfast, check in with Doug and Stacy, then go to work or whatever it is you're doing.
All right. Yelena wants to know, what do I think about consuming white vinegar? I marinate vegetables sometimes in it. I would switch to raw apple cider vinegar because it is a fermented food. You're going to get so much benefit out of it for your body. You can look up, just go online and look at benefits of raw apple cider vinegar. It'll knock your socks off. Mostly the white distilled vinegar is made from corn and it's GMO'd, and I wouldn't recommend that really as much. If you're going to pick one to consume, I would definitely do the apple cider vinegar or raw apple cider vinegar.
Come to the Florida Panhandle. Oh, we're going to be coming some places, y'all. I bought an RV just so we can come. I'm serious as a heart attack. This year we're giving away a ton of awesome stuff that's going to bless your socks off. And we're going to travel around so you can pinch us, hug us, ask questions, look in our eyes, and make sure we're legit. Because now there's all this stuff going around, bush radical, all these people are making about off-grid living's a lie. It just messes me up, man, because it's like, it sends out this false signal like you can't do it. Like Bush Radical doesn't live off-grid. That guy, they buy property, they set up what I'll call chit chats, and then they flip the property. And he even says it right there. He's very open about it. He says it's a sweat equity thing. They find property, update it a little bit, and then flip it. That's what they do. Then there's, other people that live off grid, that are just doing it for YouTube fodder, right? They're just doing it for fun. And then there's people like us, people like, Idaho Hillbilly, who doesn't hardly get any views at all on his channel, but they're legit doing it. Green Thumb Project, they're doing it. Green Dream Project, they're doing it. There's so many people that are actually doing it, but for some reason they don't get the looks, like, you know what I mean? So there's lots of reasons, but those are people that are actually doing it. But then the people that are phony balonies get views because they know how to manipulate you, and then so it just sends this bad signal out to people. And people genuinely want to know, can I live off grid? Can I cut the system off? Can I and just go live on my own? And we are here to tell you, yes, you can do it. You can grow 90% of your own food. You can live 100% off rainwater. You can poop in buckets and use that for compost like we do. And you can participate in the system when you want to, not being forced into it. I was talking about this the other day about slavery. They don't have slaves anymore. They don't own slaves anymore. They just rent them. They just pay you guys a couple bucks and they pay you for your house and your food. Think about it. Most people are only barely able to pay for their house and their food. So this is all the real thing, Matrix and everything, and it's all getting unwound, and we have to stay vigilant on unwinding it.
So Mindy wants to know, do I use my saved marigold seeds to start seedlings, or do you direct sow? Marigolds are like my favorite. You guys should also be doing marigolds because they're very healthful when I do grow them. I use them in my salads and they look gorgeous. Or you put them on top of your tacos or on top of your spaghetti or whatever. They're wonderful because they're full of nutrients, but they're a plant or a flower that can grow through a lot of different types of, droughts and a little water and, too much water, and they do really, really well. So all I do at the end of the season, I let them go. They get really, really big. You know how it goes. If you start and you plant them and they just keep growing. I just generally pull them out at the end of the season, the ones that I want to keep. I hang them upside down. You can put them in your garage or put them somewhere. I put them in our greenhouse. And then when it's time to go ahead and use them in the spring, I'll just plant them in a bunch of pots. I'll plant them in the garden. I'll plant them wherever. And then I have marigolds and I just keep doing that. And the flowers, I'll go ahead when they're looking pretty. I'll take those. I'll cut the petals. I let them dry. I dehydrate them. And then I grind that up and I put them in seasonings because it really adds a lot of flavor too. You can also make marigold tea. Dry them up. Make a whole jar. I have jars of the petals that I put in my tea. Like here's our tea ball. And so you can put marigold petals in there, dried marigold petals. If you put chamomile, marigold, and ginger, you can do a lot of different things. So
about that tea ball, that's probably one of the best tea balls we've ever had. We sell it at offgridwithdougandstacy.com, right? Stainless steel. Not this very top part, but this bottom part is all stainless steel. And the thing just works fabulous.
Yeah, it's like a little shot. So you can see how it opens up and you put your stuff in there.
Yeah.
I love it.
It stirs real good and everything's good.
All right.
Seriously, guys, learn to grow food. Learn how to make the microgreens. Get involved with somebody. If you can't grow food, find somebody that can and say, man, if you could only, maybe keep me in some tomatoes or something, maybe I can do some, knitting you a scarf or something, if that's what you do, if you can knit some scarves, right? Maybe you can draw. Maybe you have an artistic talent. Maybe you can do some artistic work for them. All I'm saying is, you guys, we are so into the system. It's time for everyone, at least watching our channel, please, to peel back some, right? Like if you don't want to go hardcore like us, at least peel back some so they can't have all this control over you, right? And this food, they're putting this mRNA. I know you guys are reading these stories. They want to put the vaccine in everything. Why do they want to put a vaccine in everything? Everything. I mean, come on, y'all.
Yeah, TMM 176 says day 49 of constant cloud cover in Michigan.
Definitely. We've had nothing but cloud cover. We've been talking about it a lot. And you know what that does too? It keeps you negative. It keeps the suicide rates up, right? The sun has a lot to do with your vitality and your energy levels and your outlook on life. That's why all those people from way up north, they go all the way down to Florida to get some sun. There's something to it. It's not just made up.
Oh, JL wants to know, what is my favorite treat to make and eat? Well, there are a few, and I can tell you guys some really simple and easy ones that to make that I just really enjoy and they're easy to do. And one of them is just to get some like pecans and some cranberries. And then you just put them on some parchment, lay them out, and then melt some dark chocolate. And I like to drizzle them over. And then you go ahead and put it in the refrigerator, cool it off, break it apart. And then you have like bark. And it's so, so good. And the other one that I really like, I go into kind of phases. My other one that I just love are my the dates with the stuff with peanut butter in them. I go ahead and I'll get medjool dates, take the pit out, put some peanut butter on them, put them on the parchment, and then I'll put the melted chocolate over them. And they are so good. It tastes like this creamy caramel, and they're wonderful.
Yeah, it's fine. You can be like, oh, that's why I live in Florida. Well, the only time it's good to live in Florida is December and January and February.
And March, well, they're good until about
I lived in North Miami Beach, Florida. Come on. Come on now. Yeah, you got to grow your tomato season's all messed up. There's pros and cons. I was just going to say, if you want to know about living off grid, if you guys want to learn how to live off grid, if you want to know the first 7 steps, I'm plugging my booklet. Get my booklet. It can save you thousands of dollars in mistakes and heartaches and bumps. It's a nice read, and it will kind of get your juices flowing and get you off in the right direction. It's called The First 7 Steps. It's an easy read. No shipping. It's free on the shipping, at offgridwithdougandstacy.com.
And then land that I love.
And yes, my heart is heavy, okay? Because I actually care about you guys. And if this stuff is actually progressing, it is progressing, okay? But if this stuff is going to go down like it's showing, and my heart is so heavy because it is going to be so bad. Like, I'm not even fooling around, y'all.
So this is your time, guys, to start figure out what you're going to do, how you're going to grow, get some big feed tubs.
Get your spiritual fitness on, right?
Yeah.
Make sure you're right with the Lord, you know.
And just start even practicing, you know, and just
whoever,
seeing
whatever
what's
your
up.
God is. Here's no. Oh, I can't show you guys. Darn it! Did I send it to you? I'm gonna show you guys. If I sent it to Stacy, I'll show you guys why else we're in big trouble.
Well, Lana that I love wants to know how sweet is Abigail. I'm calling her Abby now because it's harder to say Abigail, but she's doing great, man. She comes running and knocks me over. She's getting big and she likes to eat, but she's doing really, really good.
No, I don't have it over here.
Yeah,
I'll show it to you coming up. But our own White House is now praying to Baal, right? And all these pagan gods. And then they say even to this God and that God, Allah, they slip in Allah. And then they say amen and a woman. That's the U.S. Congress right now during their congressional sessions. That's how they're praying right now, right? And I keep saying, I know I'm kind of wild tonight. Christians, please listen up. Stacy's giving me the knee under the table. Look at her, she's laughing. Please listen up, right? Tommy Alderman, right? All y'all. We have our Bible, okay? 2,000 plus years. The Jewish folks, the Christian folks. Please understand that the pagans have theirs too. And they didn't just, fall off and, go away somewhere. They're in full force, practicing right in front of your eyes. Okay? That's all I got to say about it. Please, you guys, it's time to armor up. This is seriously this is the times of Noah. Like you guys see those pictures of the Greeks and they have the half animal and the half human, right? There's nothing new under the sun. Just because we have computers and AI now, but there's nothing new under the sun. So please dig into your Bibles. Learn how to grow food. By the sweat of your brow, you're going to eat. Don't do it because you're the slave, right? And you have to do what you're told. All right. Woo, come on. This is the Truth Channel lately. Get on it. And this fear, stop with this fear and stop looking for man to provide you with an injection that's going to help you. It's not going to help you. That last one was a 99%, survival rate, right? And yet all the people signed up for the man-made stuff. And now look what's happening. It's not conspiracy anymore, right? The rain came and the land flooded. We're not, the conspiracy theorists right now are like, win. Everything is hitting on all cylinders.
Iden Bay, Uxay says, is green mold bad on the top of sauerkraut? Not always. Generally, look at it when you see it, scoop it off, maybe take that top layer off, scoop it off, and then smell it and see how it is. Wipe around the edges and all that. And then if it smells good, give it a little taste and it probably should be fine.
The nose knows.
Yeah. Generally, it's good. If it has a putrid smell or taste, it's probably yucky.
And if you guys, all your history books tell you all this stuff. If you guys look how Rome collapsed, it's the same thing, right? They were doing great, then they hoard out their currency, then each other, then the animal stuff, and then they're tearing away at all of our societal fabric. If you want to know the gameplay, go read Rules for Radicals. Do some homework. This is checkbox. They're going right down the list. Religion, families, man, on and on and on. Even Mr. Rogers. Are you guys following my Twitter? Be careful if you are. Mr. Rogers warned about this stuff, how kids are very impressionable. They think sometimes they're going to transform, from boy to girl because they don't know how their bodies work and everything. Can't you guys see how this is all targeting? They're targeting your kids. They went from the black family. Now they're tearing down the white middle class family. Don't send your kids to public school. Tonight's Uncle Doug night. Grow food, get your kids out of public schools, right? Do the best you can to make a living and earn and grow on your own property. That's the best thing you can do for your family right now.
And then Trudy wants to know, do you grow broccoli sprouts? Where can I find the seeds without using Amazon? She was talking about sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is just amazing. It's in a lot of the cruciferous vegetables, especially in broccoli sprouts, which is amazing. Anti-cancer, and it has all these wonderful healing properties to it. But what you need to do is it's very important. Chewed up. So it either needs to be like you blend it up or you chew it very good for it to be activated. So on these sprouts, it's just so simple and easy to do. And I'm going to go get my sprouts or my seeds and I'll show you guys because she didn't want to use Amazon. So you can, I know a lot of the Amish stores will carry them, or you can order them that brand now, NOW. You can get them. And if a lot of you guys are on a budget, you can get them for a good price. So I'll be right back. Okay.
And you can maybe go direct too. Like Amazon isn't the end of the world for buying stuff. If you guys want to buy stuff, just type in what it is. A lot of times you can buy it direct or find it from another spot if you don't want to support, this big global agenda. And I was also doing some more homework too. And y'all, anybody who jumped on the mask and stuff right up in the front, Costco, Walmart, all these big companies, you better keep your eye on them. I'm just telling you. Keep your eye on them. Shop local as possible. The only way you guys are going to beat all this stuff is to get micro, get local, grow food, learn people around your area. Silly Rabbit is in the house. Good. I'm going to make you a moderator. Help me keep these people in order here.
Okay, we'll start for something very easy for a lot of you.
And thanks for showing up. I always appreciate you. And I see all your emails. I enjoy your communications, right? I just can't respond to them all the time. But you're awesome.
So a lot of you guys were talking about growing food. So the thing here is maybe some people aren't able to go outside. Maybe people, you just can't do it for health reasons, but you want to grow something and you want to be able to have some fresh greens. So the two things we're talking about is microgreens. And I saw another comment on there you wanted to know about Mallory. It's Barefoot Microgreens. You can follow her on Instagram and say, hey, from Doug and Stacy. And she does a lot of really cool things with microgreens, recipes, and all that too.
Mallory!
So what I want to show you is I get a lot of this from the Amish store. It's like the Now brand. So this here is just a zesty sprouting mix. So it has a mixture of like 3 or 4 seeds. These are like mung beans. There's just different ones. And then generally, here's a Now brand. This is a citric acid to help when you're doing your what are these called? Sprouts. What you can do is
you guys can make your thing. You can get a mason jar. You can make your own lid. At first, we were doing it with some screen I had laying around and just a flat. And then we just kind of spent the money on the jar.
And that's what I'm going to say. So I have all those still. I love this. This is from the Now brand. And this thing is very inexpensive. It has all the directions how to do the sprouts. And a lot of times, sometimes they'll give you a little bag of seeds too. Go NOW, you can go online if you do that, and you can get the whole thing. And I love this thing because it doesn't rust or anything. And actually, this is just wonderful. I love it. And then you can go ahead and sprout. And that was one way, or do the microgreens with a little dirt and then let them grow. These will be done in 4 days or so. Microgreens are going to take a little bit longer. But if you're having this going and you have microgreens and you just keep doing it over and over and over, every week or two, you're going to be set up for greens, and you don't even need to go outside in the garden. You don't have to go sweat in the summertime. You can have fresh greens just like that. So this is something that would be simple, easier. What's the one I did on sprouting? Do you remember the name of that one?
I don't know. Just put in sprouting.
Yeah, I did one not that long ago to show you how to sprout, and then microgreens I did a long time ago, I think. Did I?
If you guys are just tuning in because maybe you saw our thumbnail and everything, on that thumbnail, we actually use the ash from our fireplace. See, we have a wood burning cook stove, and it's right there. And so we have a fire going continuously from about, October till about March, April, May. Yeah. So we use all the ashes and stuff from our fire that we keep going constantly out into our garden and around our homestead. And that's just another way you guys can keep big companies out of your life, because we don't buy any fertilizer. You know what I mean? We're pooping in buckets. We're growing our own compost. We have animals, the sheep. If you guys can do rabbits, that's awesome too. The alpacas have awesome poop. Find an alpaca place and they'll give you the poop if you just show up with a truck. Most of these farms will give you poop if you just show up with a truck.
They're like, take it.
Go
sure.
rent the U-Haul truck from Home Depot or rent the U-Haul truck, fill it up with poop, and then take it back.
Well, here, I didn't finish what I was saying. So the Now brand, it has a container. It's bigger than this. It's sort of like a pill bottle, and they have the broccoli seeds, and you get a lot of them. So that's where I get my broccoli seeds from.
And we don't have any affiliation with the Now products or anything. This is just what we use. A lot of times we just share with what we use.
But you can find other brands and all that.
Yeah, it's just what we use. That's all it is. Just what we use. How do you make sure the poop is grazing free? Oh, you're talking about for animals and stuff. Well, first off, know where you're getting your poop from, right? Talk to the people with the poop. Make sure they're not, if they're feeding off the farm. I mean, really all the stuff's going to boil down to how much effort do you want to put into it, right? Are you going to find the most pristine poop in the world, grazing free? We are so contaminated with everything, y'all. People talk about us living off rainwater. Oh my gosh, with them spraying all the chemtrails, what are we going to do? Rainwater touches everything. It's actually the purest form, I believe, even though they spray. Once it hits the clouds, the lightning happens and the rain comes down, it's a different ball game, and it just is what it is. And that way we just have to counter it. We have to eat better. We have to sleep better. We have to stay hydrated. We have to, be out in the sunshine. We have to do all that other stuff instead of just being lethargic,
so that your body
being
can
overweight,
detoxify itself.
Yeah. Not sweating. You guys don't even sweat, some of you. You got to sweat so the body gets out of there. The only thing that doesn't sweat is a pig.
The baby lambs are doing good. They're very cute, growing bigger and bigger. And it's so funny this year. This is so funny. So how many guys have baby goats or have lambs on there? Just answer when I'm asking. So this year, it's the craziest thing. So we got all these little lambs, and I go in there and I'm feeding Abby, and all of a sudden I hear.
I told you that.
They all fart, the little ones, when they're sucking on mama. It's crazy this year.
Gas in, gas out.
I guess because they're just sucking so hard. I don't know, but it's really funny. Because they never really did it that much before. I haven't really paid attention to it.
And too, like you're really doing it this year. Like normally I'm doing it. No. You're really feeding heavy this year. I mean, you're going out there a lot. You're doing it a lot.
Like I do every year.
No. Sheep is my game.
I'm the one that bottle feeds.
I'm just
4 times a day.
Fun.
Don't let them trick you.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, but then you're doing the other stuff too, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Normally I'm feeding them and watering them and doing all that stuff.
I did it all last year too.
Nice.
Nope.
How many acres? We have 11 acres.
He cooks too.
I do cook.
All right. What else do we have here?
Do you know how do you do the citric acid with the microgreens?
Not the microgreens. Okay, so you have to go watch the video if you can go find it. So basically,
we love soap nuts.
You're going to put a couple tablespoons, in here. You're going to put water in here. Your seeds are in there, and you're going to put your water in there. And then you'll go ahead and let it set overnight. All right. And then you're going to use the citric acid. You can put the citric acid. You don't have to use it. A lot of times I don't use it. In the winter months, I normally don't use the citric acid because it helps it from spoiling. So when it's very humid, it's harder to grow sprouts because they could get moldy. So if you live in a really humid area and you don't have any like air conditioning or anything like that, sprouts are going to be a lot harder to grow in the hot summer months. So I generally don't do any of these sprouts in the summer months because we don't have air conditioning and I have a booming garden. So I really don't do that or worry about that. I use my sprouts and I use my microgreens mostly during the winter months when I don't have a lot of that stuff in the garden. But this is just going to help from spoiling. But it's not necessary. You don't have to do this. Like I sprouted forever without the citric acid. And then sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. So if I have not a lot of humidity, I generally don't use it, but it helps from it spoiling. And you just don't put it in the water, and then that's it.
If you guys are in the apartment, man, you guys should be microgreen experts. Like y'all should be like microgreens. You should have a little microgreen sticker on your door in your apartment. Everybody in your apartment complex should be like, have you been over to 3C? She's got the microgreens. And you know what I mean? Like y'all should be killing it in the microgreens.
On the last live that we did, I talked about getting those old rotisserie chicken containers.
Yeah, those are lots of ways
and
you can make greenhouses.
And then you can stack them like this. like one, then another one, and then they'll just grow and then just push the other ones up.
Marlene Nelson caught a live show. Yay! And Hutchinson's has bad manners. All right. Do you think chickens are getting those MNR? Yes, they're going to put it in everything. You guys, I just did the video, right? I did the video about the bees. And I showed you right there the clip. Started off the video. If you heard about the bees yet, they're going to try to vaccinate the bees. Bill Gates is standing right there saying they're already in the UK giving these cows the MNRA vaccines. There's already been studies done that some of these animals that fell out last year, they had that mass die off, 10,000 of them. At one time, very suspect, they had the MNRA in them, right? So there's all this information is out there for everyone to see, and we're just getting bamboozled. And y'all, just remember, everyone had to get a jab. You had to get one at your job, right? You didn't have to, but you did, okay? Congress is still exempt. The staffers are still exempt. The post office is still exempt. At first, I chalked it up to having a good labor union. You know, I thought, they got a good labor union, man. Post offices, keeping them off of them. But then it dawned on me. You can't have your postal workers dropping dead in all the neighborhoods around the whole country. That would be a major problem.
Yeah, it would.
So then I really started thinking to me, wow, no wonder they didn't mandate that for the postal workers. All these people still, no jabs for them, jabs for you. And they're still coming out with the vaccine passport. They just had their big meeting. They're meeting in Davos. All this stuff is coming, y'all. So like I said in the last video, you're going to have to figure out how far you want to go along to get along. Because we already drew our line in the sand. Stacy quit her job, 35 years, no mask for us, right? We're not conforming for the love of money is the cause of all kinds of evil. That's another video I want to do, man, but it's touchy stuff, right? Like, this is it, man. You guys, you talk about this stuff, about this warrior and all this stuff, this putting on the armor stuff, right? It's time to put up or shut up. This is it right here. And I see a lot of the other and not enough of the put up.
Boston Rocks Carmen wants to know how to cook lamb shoulder chops. You know what, Carmen? I would just marinate them a little bit or put some good seasonings on them, and then just you can grill them, or you can put them in a hot like cast iron pan and then sear them, you know, on the pan. But grilling them is the best, I think.
I mean, I'm just trying to tell you guys 100, man. You have no idea what's coming. And this AI stuff and this chat, LG or GBT, I mean.
What's it called? No, it's called
chat GBT. It's crazy, y'all. I mean, it's crazy. You know, we've gone through so many changes as a country and as a people. Now, if you can peel back yourself a little bit, you can see how it's been guided. And then the guiders, right, used to like slow walk you, right? But I don't know if that's because they're all old and dying and they want to see it go on before they die. But this is marathon stuff we're doing right now. I hope you guys are paying attention. All right. How do you start growing your own food if you have never been successful? By starting, because you learn by doing. It's not cookie cutter.
And herbs are a great way to start. Herbs are very easy. And then a lot of them are perennials, you know, like your oregano and your sage. Those are just going to keep coming back over and over again. You don't have to worry about them. You can do your chives. They'll keep coming back year after year after year. And you can also do, do the herbs, and then greens grow very easy. Like arugula, you plant it and it'll pop up like in a day. It's crazy. Arugula is great. A lot of your greens, your lettuces, those are kind of simple. You can put those in little pots if you don't want to grow in a garden, and just start somewhere. And another one, actually, two easy things, and they're the two first things you generally can start gardening with, is your onions and your potatoes. And you can do regular potatoes, like your white potatoes or your red potatoes. You can plant those in containers. You can put them in big 5-gallon buckets or feed buckets and with dirt. And it's very, very simple. I've done a couple videos on that too. And that's a great place to start. So you can do onions and potatoes. You'll have all your seasoning for your food. Then you have your potatoes. You can grow your microgreens and your sprouts, your herbs, and look at that. And,
boom, boom.
And that's a small little area. So even your onions, like in my raised beds, I like to do my onions around the edges, and then I plant everything else in the middle. And so it's kind of like a little companion. So it's the onions are on the outside, protecting the little guys in the inside too, planting herbs in there too, planting things all together, and each plant's going to help one another. And there, another good book, if you guys are looking, it's called Carrots Love Tomatoes. I always talk about it. It's a really nice, easy book, a little paperback book that you can get about companion planting, companion gardening, and how they help one another.
And square foot gardening is another good one for growing in small places.
Yeah, so those are all really, really good.
And if you guys think outside the box, if you live in an apartment, if you just look around your apartment, right across the street is a neighborhood, walk over there, knock on some doors. Hi, I'm your neighbor. I live in the apartments over there. It sucks. And I'm looking for a place to grow some food. And I'd be happy to share my bounty with you. I'll just set up a little raised bed right here, and we'll grow some tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff, and I'll leave a little bag at your door every day. It just costs you a little water. I'll pay for everything to set up. And I know guys who did that and made 6-figure businesses off of it.
Oh, Diane says she's trying, but I suck at gardening. Apparently, I'm just a strawberry farmer. So there you go. You're good at strawberry
Trade
farming.
your strawberries for other food.
People will do anything for strawberries. They're like, oh, when strawberry season comes, like people go crazy. So there you go. You can do some like bartering for sure.
She just has an Instagram channel, and it's called Barefoot
Microgreens.
Yeah. And guys, thank you very much for loving on our channel, and we have 1 million subscribers. We're giving away a Ford F-150 in 2 days. It's a 158,000-mile truck. It's a good truck. I'm putting new tires on it. I put a bed liner in. I keep looking at it and I keep thinking, man, that thing is really cleaning up nice. Stacy had it all pigged out, and I was all like thinking, let's get rid of that truck. And then I got it cleaned up, and I put the bed liner in it. I'm like, golly, that thing is sharp. So we're working on the final details, but it's going to somebody in America, and we already have stuff planned for February. So make sure you're watching our channel every day, every video. We're going to be hanging out with Eustace Conway at Turtle Island in April. Make sure you click our events tab. I'll leave the link right here to our webpage. Offgridwithdougandstacy.com is how you find everything cool and keep up with us on our events tab, and get your tickets for all of our events so you can see us live and in person. Because this is the year we're going to move around a lot, because I don't know what's in store for 2024. Honestly, I really don't. Because it's going to get really stupid on the election year. Biden's driving around with documents flying out of his Corvette, right? And it's still Orange Man bad. I mean, we're going to be in some trouble here. Your event is sold out. Yes, you are. Just keep your eye open for extra tickets. Homesteading Live Conference is sold out. We have just a few tiny tickets left. I think I'm going to give away 2 tickets and like a VIP tickets and fly you in for the conference, like do a whole little package giveaway for you guys. Because I think that would be pretty cool. And then, so just stay tuned for all that stuff, man. If you guys are not watching this channel, you're missing out. If you're not telling your friends about us, you're stingy. Because we're going to be Christianizing all over the place, man. We're going to be blessing people. We're going to be giving back to the community. I'm sick of the take, right? It's time to give. We're giving back hardcore. You guys are going to flip out. I'm going to become the Mr. Beast of the homestead off-grid movement. You guys are going to, I'm telling you, I'm going to give away solar stuff. If you guys keep showing up on these videos and we keep growing, this is the year. This is it. This is the turning point when Off Grid with Doug and Stacy made a pivot, and we went from just providing information to like totally like helping you get there, not just blah, blah, blah. And, pretty soon you'll be watching videos that are made by fakers anyway, because Chat GT or GBT or whatever, you're just going to go on there and people are going to type in something and make some fake video, and they've never lived a day of this in their lifetime and couldn't even tell you nothing about it real world. You know what I mean? It's just all articles and bogusness. So make sure you are knowing who you're latching onto for your information too, because it's going to get real tricky coming up. You're not going to know what's real and what's not. I'm promising you. I got my eye on it. Blah, 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 blah. Right, Wendy? Blah, blah, blah.
You're hurting my ears. Calm down.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Calm down.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You'll be saying that when you're paying $20 a loaf of bread. I've already seen $16 for a dozen. Blah, blah, blah. Hashtag died suddenly. What do you think of hunting? Do you hunt for your own food? We grow our own food, and hunting is my second resort because a lot of guys come home empty-handed. So I always wanted to guarantee I would have some food. So I do that first, and then hunting would be my secondary.
Yeah, we even have a bow and arrow, so we can do that too.
We have all kinds of weapons.
And then Karma wants to know, really would love to know what chickens lay the most eggs. Again, buying first homestead this March. So there's quite a few breeds that are, pretty comparable. Rhode Island Reds lay very good. Your Plymouth Barred Rocks do very well. Your Buff Orpingtons do good. Your Silver Lace Wyandottes do good. There's quite a few of these heritage breed chickens that will lay and do very well. And they're hardy birds and a lot of different, temperatures, really cold and very hot. So I would probably look into some of those.
Missouri girl, Stacy can speak for herself, and truth hurts. You know what I mean? And it's the candy ear program is over, right? If you're looking for candy ears and sweet talk in your ears, don't come here. You know what I mean? Because that game is over. Like this sweet talk stuff, it's time for some straight talk, right? Because this politically correct stuff and all this, don't hurt their feelings or something, right? That's over. It's over. It's time to get serious. And however the delivery is, don't worry about the delivery. Just listen to the message.
So Angela wants to know what we put in our salads. So you guys, if you want to get a lot of greens into your day, because a lot of people are like, I can't eat that many. I do it all in a salad. So every day Doug and I have like big monster salad and I put everything in it. So I love arugula. Arugula is really good for you. It's a little bitter, but if you mix it with some other greens, it's fantastic. Or if you just do arugula by itself, arugula goes really good with goat cheese and beets. So I like to get beets and I like to roast the beets, and then you can put the beets in there, and you can put some pecans, or you can put sunflower seeds in there. You can put some dried cherries or cranberries in it with some goat cheese, some onions maybe, and then it makes the most wonderful salad. So that's good. Or I get a lot of like broccoli when it's in season, or you can shred carrots and broccoli, put it in there. And I just, whatever I have, I'll cut up all different vegetables, throw it in there. I like to try to put maybe some different nuts and seeds in there. I put my homemade salad dressing in there, and then different types of, I love feta cheese. My stomach's running.
Do you guys hear that?
But you just try to put whatever you got, loaded up with all these wonderful vegetables, because they're really healing. They're loaded with all this stuff. Especially a lot of people have high blood pressure. It's probably because you have too much sodium and you don't have enough potassium. So you're going to get a lot of potassium from those leafy greens to help with that. It's good fiber, good source of carbohydrates, helps your colon, and you're getting tons and tons of vitamins and minerals. So, and if you are going to buy it at the store, make sure you buy organic. That's very, very important. Grow it yourself, farmer's market, to get a lot of your greens. So just try to start making a big salad every day and make your homemade salad dressing. And that's just a good way to start. You don't have to change anything else. Make sure the first thing in the morning, you're having a nice glass of filtered water, and then go on. Maybe for lunch, then you're going to go ahead and have your big salad. And then if you add a little protein to it, like one of my favorite foods is sardines, because sardines are amazing. And that's a great, for a lot of us now, who knows what's going on in the world. It's a great prepper food because it has a very long shelf life, more than most canned foods. And it is like so much health. It's almost got everything you would ever want in it, with those omega-3 fatty acids. You're getting lots of calcium, selenium. All these vitamins and minerals that are crucial for your body. And is power packed. So let's say you're really worried about getting good nutrition, or you're not getting good meat, or maybe you can't get some good grass-fed meat. Add some sardines. They're great heated up in your eggs, or when you make them with a red sauce, you can put them with pasta. Put them on top of pizza. Doug and I, we put them on our salads. Like when I travel, if we have travel, I always carry sardines with me. And then if you make a big salad, you just put your sardines in it. It's great. And for a lot of you guys that have cats and dogs, I would be giving my cat and dog a can of sardines once a week, because it's so important for their coats, for their skin, for their immune system. Yeah, so that would be another thing that I would be doing. So I buy the heck out of sardines because
And it's such
those
a
are
cheap
good.
survival prep
Yeah.
food, y'all. You could have sardines stacked up in your basement for $1 a can, dollar. They're good for you. They last a long time.
But don't get the ones with all the sauces because a lot of them have a lot of like the natural flavors and the MSG type things. So just read your labels. If they're made with olive oil or spring water, those are better. Some of them have a little lemon juice in them. So just read your labels. But that's a great thing to start stockpiling to add to the things that you're going to be growing, just to have, just in case.
And do not look for us at Homesteaders of America. We will not be at Homesteaders of America. So
Oh, and then
don't
KP.
buy tickets bamboozled thinking we're going to be there because we're not.
Oh, I thought they said about layman's.
And we're working on layman's. I'm not for sure about them either.
All right.
You get a little heat when you come out with some truth. So we're prepared for it. Whatever throws our way, we're good. We got you guys. So we'll be all right.
Oh, and then me too had ribs and sauerkraut with a big salad for dinner. And that's the other thing. A lot of us like start fermenting a lot of your stuff that you're getting. So if in the summer, in the spring, when you start growing things, then you can start processing, whether you're going to can it. You need to have some fermentation so that when you're looking at your plate every day, you're having some type of live food with every meal. So if you're having a little dollop of sauerkraut, or if you fermented some beets, or you made some dilly beans or some fermented carrots, you're having that with your cooked food. So if you had potatoes and meat, you have a little bit of sauerkraut or beans or whatever you have that's fermented. Or maybe when you're having your meal, then you're having some kombucha. Just make sure you're having some type of live food with every meal. Or here's the other one, making your microgreens or your sprouts, adding that because you're going to get that live nutrition there also.
And remember, we are going digital currency. And remember, they use wars to usher in this nonsense, y'all. Stay sharp out there. I've given you the stories already. They've already been working with MIT. They already have the programs down. In China right now, they have facial recognition. You can't buy anything. They just scan your face. You don't even need your phone. That's the model, right? Total control over your movement is the model. That's why they want the electric cars. That's why everything wants to be electric. They're going to tell you. That's why the Europeans like the trains, because they know where you're going to be. It's 3:00. Bubba was on the train. Man, our country's not this way. This is not America. Y'all over in Europe and all these other places, y'all can keep it, but not here. We're not this way here.
All right, Deborah wants to know how much chocolate tea to make a cup. She just got hers.
Oh.
So what I do, you put if you have the tea ball, I just put the chocolate tea in the bottom there and then close it, and then you can put it in a cup.
No, you want to fill the whole tea ball.
Well, no, what happens is
they say you have to fill the whole tea ball. That's because
so you'll buy
we
more.
sell the tea, right? It's just like everything else.
What happens is you put it just in the bottom, and then when it gets liquid in it, it'll fill the whole thing up and puffs up. But the thing is what I like to do with the chocolate tea is, here, I'll show you. The thermal mugs like this. So I like to put my chocolate tea in here, and then it can sit for longer because it keeps it warmer longer, so it gets more chocolatey, and then I can enjoy it and sip on it all morning.
Maple syrup.
And then it's really good that way. So I like it in the thermal mug the best because it'll stay hot for a long time and it gets more chocolatey.
Better. Yep. Yeah. And it doesn't have, there's no caffeine, but it has a natural thing that kind of mimics it, but it's nothing like it. So
you won't feel jittery or anything. You'll just get the energy.
So a lot of people that have kicked coffee are all over this stuff. And it's limited supply too. Like some folks want more in the quantity section, but we're lucky to even keep up with demand, right? Because it's a very like niche-y kind of a thing, right? Bushy. I don't know what you would say. And it's a fluke that we even have it, right? Because so we do a good job with it.
Okay, so Gail says she loves salads, but raw veggies are hard on my stomach. So then go ahead and cook them. Like if you have, broccoli or cauliflower, just kind of.
Oh, somebody said Now Foods is having a sale where you get buy one, get one 50% off.
Ooh, look at that. That's good.
And Stacy and I, we were talking in the video about the chicken feed. She said something like, she buys in season. So what you do is when they're pulling corn out of the fields, well, that's when you buy corn, right? Because then the price always goes down. If you wait till now to walk in and buy your corn futures have gone up. So you guys have to time your purchases for your feed and your livestock, just like that too. You want to get it like hay, right? When they're cutting hay in the field and hay's laying around everywhere, you can get it for $3 a bale. But in the wintertime, when everybody's running around saying, man, there's a hay shortage and all this stuff, and these guys have been sitting on their hay for a long time, all of a sudden now hay's $6 a bale. So we're talking about buying in season, eating in season, growing your own food, being more self-sufficient,
and then
getting out of debt, the slavery system. White collar layoffs are coming. If you guys are watching this channel, right, and you got a white collar job and you've been thinking about this lifestyle, you might be forced into it. So just keep your eye on that too. Be careful on taking on this debt and stuff that you guys are going to struggle with if you lose that white collar job. YouTube just lays off like thousands of people, and more is coming. Zuckerberg just laid off a lot of people. These white collar layoffs are coming right now in a big way. Smash that like button. You need to post on Rumble. No, I don't. I need to post right here, and you need to show up and watch it.
I don't know if I can butcher my chickens.
The digital money stream, just like whenever they introduce anything, there's going to be the black market, right? We'll all go underground. Well, we have to participate some in the digital stuff. I believe so. Because if you're going to drive your car on the road, unless you're going to go all sovereign citizen and everything, yeah, that's a whole nother video. Then that's what you're going to have to do. Like I'm telling you guys right now, Stacy and I participate in the system when we want to. We're not forced to. We're not slaved into it. We're not obligated to it. So there may be times when we have to participate. So you guys are going to have to learn the workarounds.
A lot of people are wanting about the chicken feed recipe. You know what? We'll put it on our website. You want to put it on our website? We can do that.
We can put it on our website.
Yeah. So give me a little time and just go back and check. And then I'll do it. And I've changed it. Yeah, I'll do a little bit.
As you're writing your book too.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
As you feed the ram 4 times a day, make my dinner, cook the dishes, make the dishes, we'll do the laundry. Yeah.
But no, that's a good, I will do that.
We'll get right on.
Because I like to change the chicken feed, and alternate it, whatever I can get when I can get it with the herbs.
It's free speech on Rumble, Brenda, but they take your copyright away, which means they now own your material. On YouTube, I have free speech. Do you hear me free speeching up in here? And I own my material. This is Doug's copyrighted material, Doug and Stacy's copyrighted material. Nobody can use it without our permission. Stuff like that. That's a kind of a big deal. I'm doing more homework on Rumble. I have kept my eye on it, but y'all stop with being scared. I'm not scared. I'm talking about all this stuff right now. Bill Gates pushing vaccines, Fauci making you mask up, the New World Order's all in on it. Nancy Pelosi's dad was a socialist. I'll give it all to you, right?
And then Shannon says that lettuce shortages
this is all
year.
truth, and I'm talking about it. Yes, lettuce shortages. And we know people that have tested lettuce and it has the MNRA on it. Come on. Grow your own food. That's the whole point of all this stuff. We're not just some social media channel. I'm not just showing Stacy's curves to get views. She's not alone in the log cabin, right? We are an information channel. We're trying to teach you guys how to live alternative life, how to get out of the system, how to grow your own stuff. It's scary. We did it, right? It's hard. We're doing it, right? But you can do it. And we give you all this information for free. And we're not scared anymore. And we're going to talk about this stuff. Yeah. Because I am walking through the shadow of death, and though I fear no evil. That's right. And all it takes for evil to exist is for good men to do nothing.
So Catherine wants to know, how do you get salad lettuce in the winter? So what you need to do, you have to always think ahead. When we live this lifestyle, we always have to think ahead. Like, we had warmer temperatures day before yesterday. And so yesterday I was out because I knew we were going to have very horrible cold temperature, frigid temperatures for a whole week. So I went and I know that that's happening. I got to get the wood, make sure everything's back here. So you always got to think ahead. So same thing with growing your greens through the winter.
We have a cold frame right outside the front porch here, and she grows greens all through the winter time in a very small little micro space. And it's called a cold frame.
Wait, but you have to plant like late, in the fall time. You start planting when it's still warmer, so it starts to grow.
That's right.
And it gets to
it's already established.
And then it's going to grow much slower because it's colder. And then it'll grow, and I'll have it all winter. And the other thing that I do is I get one of those like plastic totes that have a lid, You know, they're kind of clear. You know, they're pretty big that you put your sweaters and stuff in and blankets, and then I flip it upside down and I stick it on outside on our raised beds. And then that way I have greens out there too. So sometimes I'll have some parsley or arugula, you know, some greens, some kale. Those are the ones that usually will make it mostly through the winter. And then, and some of them I'm kind of running out a little bit now. But I'm doing pretty good because I'm at the end of January.
And dentists are just as worse as doctors. They put silver fillings in your mouth. They inject you. They pull teeth when they're not supposed to. That's what's the problem with my teeth. Okay, I went to public dentist when I was a kid. My mom took us there. They messed my teeth all up, right? And then I never got the braces. My sister did, and I'm just living with it, and I don't care because that doesn't make me who I am. I have my wisdom teeth were coming in. I got videos on it when I took Stacy on our date night. You guys can go watch the video, right? It's called Crazy Couple in Love. I'm talking kind of funny because my back molars were coming in, my wisdom teeth, right? And they were getting loose and they were hurting. I was sucking it up and then I pulled them with dental floss. Just tell them.
He did.
I even put it on Instagram and showed a picture of it.
Here's the thing with a lot of people are having a lot of problems. A lot of people might have a lot of autoimmune problems, having all this achiness, having a lot of problems, and they don't know what's wrong with them. Brain fog. I mean, a lot of people are having that. But when you have the mercury fillings or the amalgam fillings, which are causing a lot of health problems. So if you could go to a dentist, I would recommend going to a holistic dentist. And then that way, when they take the stuff out, you know, it's a little safer that you don't have to get any of that and swallow it. So if you can, or you know, we're an organic dentist or a natural dentist, a biological dentist, that would be a good place to go. Or try to get your fillings taken out.
Yeah, that's expensive.
If
you can afford it, I mean, I have a buddy of mine who's been doing it. And if you can afford it, you know, it's good to do. But yeah, I mean, all this stuff, man, that they've been doing to us, you know, I'm thoroughly convinced that all the food and everything is just to keep us just sick enough to where you're all in on the system. And they started advertising these pills on TV. It's amazing to me. And everyone's all running around, hyped up on big pharma. It's just amazing to me. But yeah, we just take care of our own stuff. That's how we are now. We're just thinking about taking care of our own stuff.
My stomach's making
Man, we had all that food. You act like you never ate a meal before. All right, so we're going to wrap it up here in a little bit. Don't forget, in 2 days, we're going to be picking a winner. Good evening, Stacy and Doug. Just coming on. How are you? -1 in Colorado. Hey, Levon.
Cold. Yeah, it's cold here. Cold. It's getting cold here. I think is it going to get to 7 tonight?
It's going to get cold. We're going through this week right here. It's supposed to be a really cool week. A really cold week. Earthships are okay. They have a lot of maintenance. The ground is always moving. If you have the plaster or any of that stuff, it's always going to be fix. I looked into all kinds of alternative deals. Some people have great luck with them. This is just one of the things. Some people said that the log cabin was going to be a lot of maintenance, and it's turned out to be nothing. I've been here 14 years. I've only stained it one time. Well, the outside's starting to wear a little bit.
Yeah, but the logs aren't at all. It's like the little logs, not the little tree stuff. Logs. Yeah, these are great.
Yeah, it's just it just everything needs maintenance. I think that one might need a little bit more. A Simple Life with Chris and Tara. Can't stay, just stopping in to say hey. Hey,
hi, guys.
Man, what was that now? 76 minutes. I know, you guys. Sometimes.
Oh, lemon is salad dressing?
I think we got to stop with all this looking for the niceties and, all this super soft talk. It's time to get back. You don't want to be so, rude. I'm not trying to be rude. But I'm just not going to, shy around it or, worry about how you perceive it. I just have to give it to you. And then you guys... I'm the ground buster, and you guys will plant the seeds. I bust it up, and then I throw them out, and then whatever happens on that is up. Whatever happens. So, but there's some things going on. What it is ain't exactly clear. Did you guys know Obama was one of the richest persons in the world? He's in the top 4 or 5. His dad actually worked with the Bushes in the oil business. Go look this stuff up. His dad worked with the Bushes in the oil business, and Bush Senior, right? We used to give him candy when he would come on the job site with his dad and stuff. That's why when you see Bush Jr. giving Barack candy and they laugh, that's because Barack knows that his dad used to give him candy. And his dad, Barack Obama's dad, set up this huge offshore, over there bank account, and that's how he lives. And then they slid him in, and that's why Hillary Clinton got mad, because she was supposed to be a shoo-in.
Oh, Mona's 66 today. Happy birthday.
Do you use a farrier? Yeah, I called the farrier in.
Yeah, well, yeah, we did. Just the
I
other
usually
day.
call the farrier in. That's something I never really got into since we've been up here, is doing my own farrier
But
work.
our son wants to do it.
Yeah, but you do it so less. I mean, you don't do it that often, right? So it was easier for me just to bug you over and have the Amish do it. And then I haven't really been on the horses too heavy, and so I haven't had them shoot in a couple of years, but I just have them trim. And so I just have the guys come over and do it.
Yes, she got a pedicure.
Yeah.
They got a pedicure. Yeah, it's really funny, on animals, like on horses, ones that have the lighter hooves, they usually have softer hooves, so they have more hoof problems compared to like a horse that has the darker hooves.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that's, especially in the winter months. And then in the summer, the darker horse and the darker animals have more problems with the flies in their eyes, and the lighter animals, I guess the flies don't like the lighter color of them. So they get flies, but not as bad as the darker horses or the darker animals.
Yep.
So.
And if you want to get 2 ewes, that's fine, but you'll never grow from there. I mean, you have to have a ram, and it's only 2 sheep per acre. So if you had a ram and you had 2 ewes and you had 2 acres, that'd be pretty good. You could bounce them between each acre. You'd be a little heavy on the acre, but you'd have to get rid of the offspring, pretty quick. And you'd be feeding hay a lot.
So Laura wants to know, having terrible time growing onions in Long Island, the big thing is to plant them early. You got to get them in early. So here, I don't know what zone you are. 6B, we're 6B here. I try to get, if I can, and the temperatures are, okay, by the end of March or around St. Patrick's Day, end of March, try to get them in, and you can do the sets. It works just fine, and just get them in early, and they're pretty hardy.
I do not use anything on my beard. Thanks for being honest, couple, and getting it info. I do try to verify all my stuff. I'll feel so bad if I give you guys some loser information. So I'm very careful on that. We got a follow-up video coming up on this egg business, and it's worse than I thought. So Tractor Supply is fully in on it. Hey, Doug and Stacy, we love your channel. Thank you, Sandra. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget, we're giving away a Ford F-150 in a couple of days.
Yes, I like olive oil is great. Extra virgin olive oil is great for your salad dressing, or drizzle it on bread or something. Yes.
Yeah, I don't leave the shoes on the horses unless I'm actually using them. So they haven't had shoes on for a while out in the pasture. So I do not leave shoes on the horses. Stacy, can I store completed raw sauerkraut with lids on my countertop? That's how they did it old school.
The only thing is if it's a room temperature, I mean, you definitely want to cool it down because it'll slow the fermentation. I like my sauerkraut to be a little bit more crunchier. I don't like it real squishy. So, I'll leave it out. Like if I have a quart jar, and I'm leaving it out, and I'm going to eat it over the next week, I could maybe leave it on my counter for a while. But if I left it out too long, sometimes you might get some kind yeast on top of it. And I do like it colder. So I'll, try to cool it off. It stays in the root cellar unless I'm using it for that time. So, but it just remember, when you put it in the refrigerator, or you put it into a root cellar or cold storage, it just slows down the fermentation.
How to get rid of a skunk? Shoot it.
Are you talking about the skunk itself or the smell?
Well, you can just give them the smell.
Because one year Molly got sprayed 5 times. The best thing to get rid of the smell is baking soda and hydrogen peroxide. It will get rid of it immediately.
Farming Our Backyard might want to add to the live show onto the comment. Do you buy organic seeds?
We
buy heirloom
seeds?
seeds, yeah. And you can buy organic ones, right? So we get the heirloom seeds from rareseeds.com. We get some from Johnny's Seeds. We get some from Am I
My
Gardener. So there's lots of places you guys can get seeds. Just make sure you know you're getting good seeds. Open pollinated seeds are the best.
Oh, Lisa says, "Gee, me that too. Stacy, you changed my life. My family is so much healthier. We got elderberries, mason tops, ferment, sweet tater slips. Chickens even added art inside their coop. I need to redo mine. I have to always give it a little facelift every spring too, so I have to do mine. I always like to go and get the spray paint when it's on sale."
Do you ever worry about temperature fluctuations ruining your fermented foods or cans?
Meaning,
yeah, in the summertime it gets too hot. It can go south on you pretty fast, especially us. We don't have any controlled environment up in here.
It does, and that's the thing. When it gets too really hot, like terribly hot, it'll ferment very quicker. That was bad grammar. It'll ferment much quicker, and sometimes it kind of might get more of an alcoholic flavor, but generally it's not too bad. I get everything done pretty good, and it lasts okay. And some of them turn out, some of them don't. Some of them, if they look like they're not doing so good, maybe I'll eat those first. But it happens sometimes. I mean, just like anything else, if you lose livestock, sometimes you can lose some of your ferments. Some of them work, some of them don't. It's just kind of part of it. But you just kind of figure out, where you can put it if you have a cooler place that you can let it ferment. Because things will ferment. If you had like a cool place, let's say it was too hot in your house, maybe it was 100 degrees, and you had like a basement, you can take it down there to let it ferment too.
Yeah. Well, you're not such a sweet thing. I want to do everything. And
then everyone wants to know about get the chicken feed, where we get our feed, just from a local feed store. People just own it, and then we just get it from there. You can find Mennonites, you can find Amish. A lot of them have they have just organic farms, local feed stores. Yeah,
they're all over. I know you've got solar. How many panels? 9 panels, and we've had to turn the generator on a couple times. No sun. But I mean, when it's sunny, it works out okay. But I got more videos to come on that.
How can I enrich my soil? It's petering out. You know what? Just use what you got. Like if you have banana peels and bananas, throw them out there. This is during the winter months. Your eggshells, throw them out there. If you have a fire, throw your ash out there. I mean, that's basically kind of, we do that. And then I did a thing on the free fertilizer. We use your urine. If you're not taking any medicine, it's wonderful. And then if you add ash to it, it's exactly pretty much what you get at the store for fertilizer. So, I mean, there's lots of ways around it that you can do it, but just adding just organic greens, getting stuff, I chop things down, chop and drop in the end of the season. And then it just sits there, and then it absorbs into the soil over the, winter months. And then I kind of clean it all out, and there you go. And my soil is amazing. It grows really, really well. That has been in the raised beds. For how many years have we been doing the raised beds now? So it does pretty good.
Yeah. And can you ferment with vodka? Yeah, if you're doing tinctures.
Well, that's not fermenting.
Oh, that's not fermenting. No.
So with vodka, you can make tinctures. So if you had, whatever you want to ferment, if you want to make a cayenne pepper tincture, if you're going to make, oregano or elderberry tincture, yeah, you're just going to put some elderberries like in here, and then the rest of it you would put vodka and let it set, 4 or 5 weeks, and strain it through, and then you'll have this wonderful tincture that you can take, put a few drops, put like a squirter bottle in some water and drink it.
All right, so let's talk about sawdust real quick. Sawdust is like the superstar on the homestead, right? Sawdust, if you guys keep a good pile of sawdust on your homestead, sawdust can break down an animal. Okay, if it's the dead of winter and if it's too cold to get into the ground and you can't get into the ground, you can actually bury the animal on top of the ground in the sawdust, and in a short time, that sawdust will break that animal down faster than dirt.
And no smell.
And you'll have bones and no smell and nothing, right? Another thing about sawdust is it's a great insulator, right? We also use it in our composting toilets. So insulator second. I'm going back to the composting stuff. We put the poop in the bucket. We put the compost on top of it. Poop, compost, or sawdust, sawdust, sawdust. And that's what makes the compost. The sawdust mixes with that. It breaks down, and over time it turns into the greatest dirt. I had a great big pile of sticks and stuff up there in the front, if you guys have been with our channel for a while. And I told you, watch this thing turn into dirt. And sure as the day is long, that pile of sticks and debris and mulch and everything I had up there has turned into some great dirt. Stacy's been planting food in it for like the last 3 years.
You know, like vining squashes and stuff.
So and then now the sawdust is a great insulator, right? So if you guys, what the Amish do is they have their ice house. And so it depends on the size of the ice house, but they'll have them, you know, like 10 feet tall and 8 feet wide, something like that, and maybe 10 feet deep, 12 feet deep. And they will fill that full of the ice that they cut out of the pond, and then they will cover that ice with the sawdust, right? Lots of sawdust, but it has to be like 3 inches thick. And that ice will keep underneath that sawdust from when they cut it all the way to the next winter. That's how it works. So sawdust is really an important thing to have on the homestead. We use a lot of sawdust, and I cut firewood. We have sawdust. If you don't cut firewood or run a sawmill like we do, then you can.
Some people put it in their coops too.
It's great in the coops.
Yeah.
Lots of uses. But you can find it at a sawmill. Just go through the yellow pages. A lot of times if you show up with your pickup truck, another free resource, they'll give it to you for free. If you just hunt it down.
What about Amos Miller? What's going on with him?
Amos Miller is, they got a lot of redactions. So like, let's say they had $100,000 fine. They took it down to like $10,000. He's still got legal counsel. He's able to sell his meat. They backed off his neck some. Thank you for all your support in watching that video, because that video helped, right? And so he's been doing a lot better off. He's not out of the woods yet, but I think he's learned some good stuff. And I think things are moving in the right direction. How do you keep rats out of your coop?
Molly.
Yeah.
You should see her. It's so funny. In the wintertime, I think there's one there. And so she's dug a hole like this deep. And she is relentless, man. She's good.
She's a terrier.
She got one.
The largest terrier. So they are rodent killers. So you guys just look for animals that can help do the job for you. You know what I mean? And there's other tricks too. I mean, there's ways to do it. Keep your feed. Someone asked about storing feed when you buy it in season. Metal containers are the best. Those metal trash cans.
Yeah, get the trash cans. That's what I like to put everything in there. And then you can label it with a Sharpie. That's what I do. And if anyone has to come and do chores for you, you can write everything on there on the can on your Sharpie. It works out good.
Yeah, you don't want to use any cedar and stuff like that. You want to use hardwoods. And you don't want to use sawdust from like your 2x4s if you're buying it from Home Depot. It has to be unkiln dried, just regular raw sawdust. Okay? All right, that's it for us. I got to do some stuff around here. We got one more feeding on the old fancy pants out there.
Yep, little Abby.
Abby, we had to switch it over to Abby. Tell them why.
Well, because I said it earlier, it's better with 2 syllables. You have to have a dog or a cat. They have to have a 2-syllable or a 1-syllable name. Yep. 3 syllables too much. So it's Abby.
So you guys make sure you go to Off Grid with Doug and Stacy on the daily, because YouTube will probably unsubscribe you from our channel. Make sure you're checking to see if you're subscribed to our channel, because if we pick your name to give you a truck and you're not subscribed, OMG. So always double check that on the daily. If you go to offgridwithdougandstacy.com, as soon as you go there, the first page has our videos in chronological order from newest to oldest.
And then when I get a little time, I will put the recipe for the chicken feed on there.
Up there as well. You guys don't forget this truck giveaway. Make sure you're registered. We have cool stuff for next month. It's going to be off the chain. And, we appreciate all the love and support, right? That's really the bottom line. We appreciate all the love and support.
And then LG Homestead, we're going to see them at the Okie Homestead Expo.
Expo. And don't forget to use our events tab so you can come see us live and in person. And then we'll see if you say some of these comments you say to me on. I'm just teasing. All right, man. Lean into your scriptures, y'all. Lean into your scriptures. If you want a good book, right? if you start reading King James and your eyes gloss over and you can't do the old English, there's a good Bible called the Scriptures, and it's written with the Aramaic and the early Greek in mind. And so the a lot of stuff you guys are doing is lost in translation, is bad stuff. So just if you get something like that, you can understand a little more, I think, of what they were trying to get across with, because that Latin, when they switched it over from the Latin, there was some trouble there. So check out maybe that book, Scriptures. Lean into your Bibles or whatever your spiritual journey leads you right now, because you're going to need it. And please try and learn to grow food, or get with somebody who grows food, or find a neighbor that will let you grow food. Honestly, I think maybe your life will depend on it. At the minimum, the way they're treating the food that you're buying at the store is disgusting and perverted. And so at a minimum, just for your own body's sake, for your own health, you should just make the transition anyway, without any of the food control issues on the table.
And then here's the other thing too. Try not to go and eat out as much. If you can start really, and we talk about this a lot, just start cooking from home and cooking with things that you can say that what was here 200 years ago. If it's been made within the past 100 years, it was in a box or something like that, don't eat it. And just start doing those little bitty things, eating a big salad every day, trying to eat a live food with every meal, getting out, getting the sunshine first thing in the morning, so your eyes can get used to it, help your sleep-wake cycle and your circadian rhythms. And then just that'll start helping your health too, So just try doing these simple little bitty things, and it can really make a huge, huge difference. And just cooking from scratch, knowing the oils that you're using, because really what's killing us, and I think this is the big, big culprit, are those seed oils, and then the oils that they're using to fry things at the store, at the restaurants and stuff. So really look into maybe trying to change just a few little things like that, and notice maybe your aches and pains are getting less, or you're feeling a little bit better, or you have more energy. Makes a huge, huge difference. So those would be just a couple easy things to start doing, and then maybe start learning a little bit more about microgreens. And we'll have to do a thing on microgreens or sprouting. And I can't
this week. You already said it.
So
let it be
lots
written.
to do.
So let it be done.
Oh, yeah. And have I started my sweet potato slips? Not yet, but I will.
Good night, sweetheart. Yes. Good night tonight. Good night, sweetheart. Yes. Good night tonight. It's time to go. Do. See you guys on the next video. As always, it's our pleasure hanging out with you guys. Sometimes I'm a little fiery, but I'm just telling you guys how it is. Hope you appreciate that, because that's hard to find these days. Everybody's so damn scared. Oh.
What'd you do?
Everybody's so darn scared, right, to even tell you guys what's going on, because they don't want to lose being monetized. See, for the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. We'll see you guys on the next video. Stay vigilant, right? And make sure you're following our channel and subscribe.
And cook from scratch.
Cook from scratch. Go to Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. Make sure you're registered.
Don't eat so much sugar either.
2 days. Yeah, sugar is really messing you up.
It's so bad. Yeah. Sugar is causing everything. Your insulin levels are not where they need to be for most all of us. So we need to keep those lower. It's not a lot of high carbohydrates, just low carbohydrates, good fats, and you'll be doing good.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to